Things might get weird.
Yeah.
Welcome to our life.
Welcome back to another episode of the Hewlett House podcast. How are you, babe?
Great.
We're going to do a couple today.
We're just going to batch here.
Do a couple batches before you got to head off to church.
Whoop, whoop.
You going today?
Yeah.
What a blessing you are to our family. Going
Thank
to
you.
church.
Are you serious right now? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sweet.
Yeah, interesting times. Our bishop's super cool. I
He's so
freaking
cool.
really dig him. He's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
See him at the gym, catch up.
Yep.
Wish we had more time to hang out with cool people like them. We're like, hey, luckily he's in the same boat we are, trying to go, I'm like, we got to go grab dinner or something, dude.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
Oh, I think it's his wife's birthday tomorrow.
Wish her happy birthday.
I will.
I guess she just got back from,
The
Iceland
first
on
time
a
I
girls'
knew-
trip. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Good for you.
First
Courtney.
time, like,
Oh, almost said his name.
I really
You're awesome.
I really got to know her, and I found out it was her birthday. I went to take her a treat, and she's,
Allergic to the treat you got her.
yeah.
Actually, I nailed that. Maybe you told me before. I was just guessing there.
Yeah, so that was fun. I was like, oh, give that to your kids. It's really good. And here's something else.
Oh, well, here's a gift
Luckily,
card.
I gave her, like, a treat and a physical gift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was at this point, but I was like, your kids are going to really like that. It was delicious, but
As long as they're not allergic, they're going to really enjoy this.
yeah.
And if not, give it to the dogs.
There were a couple of them that could have it. So.
Oh, good.
You know, one of those moments in life that you're just like,
No good deed
really messed it up tonight.
goes unpunished.
What?
No good deed goes unpunished. Think about it.
Okay.
You did a good deed and you were punished for
I
it.
totally
That's all. That's what I'm trying to say. You just
But
keep
it doesn't
trying.
make sense, though.
Hey, it's okay.
Okay.
You got this.
Okay.
I got the good news this
Good
time.
news.
So there's a guy named, I think the first time I heard this was from him, but there's a bunch of science, and this is a tricky one, by the way. I want to have some friends on and come talk about more of the spirituality side of things with, I think there's more going on than just like World War III possibly happening, is like, I think that, I don't go to church. I'm not like religious, but I'm spiritual. I'm that guy.
Why are you
I
laughing?
said it because I just imagine people rolling their eyes when I say that, but that's kind of how, I don't know how else to say it right now. So,
Okay.
but I think there's this fine line between like science and how cool it is and how much longer we can possibly live. But I also think that death is a part of life
Yeah.
and it's a new phase for us and that we go on and we grow and there's other opportunities, whether I don't know anything. Okay. I'm just going to say that looking at you, gang. Okay. I don't know anything, but do we come back here and relearn some stuff? Do we go to a different world in another universe and learn
So
other
I'll tell
things?
you how much I don't know, but like in the scriptures, they talk about living for like hundreds of years.
Yeah,
So like,
dude.
is it hundreds or is it like the way that they counted time different?
Yeah, or is it metaphor stuff or who knows?
Probably. Who knows?
Yeah, I think
Anyway,
there's probably times people lived a
if
little
you know,
longer.
let us know.
The world's been around a long time.
Just saying.
Yeah. But Ray Kurzweil was the one that I heard recently. If maybe you've seen him on podcasts or something, but there's a clip of him saying that if anybody that can live another 5 years can possibly live 500 years, and I think there's a lot of people saying, yeah, whatever, dude. But I think with the science
In
and tech
5
coming,
years, we could live up to like the
if we
technology.
can make it
will
another
make
5
it.
years, the technology will be good enough that we could live like maybe 500
But like, do we
years.
want
maybe,
to?
Right. That's a
Do
whole
we want
other.
to?
I don't know that I want to live 500 years. If
I'm
I'm
not
kicking
sure.
ass and making money and life's good and I'm doing what I
guess.
want, whatever. But
I'll do what I want.
what's 500 years in the grand scheme of things, too?
I don't know.
But there's another doctor that's working on anti-aging, David Sinclair, who's really interesting. I think he also talks a lot about sleep and everything. But I thought I saw a clip of him recently talking how they're reversing the aging in mice.
Mm.
So they'll age them, then bring them back, and it's like working.
Mm.
And anyway, I love technology.
But not
We were
as
watching
much as
Napoleon
you
Dynamite last night.
see.
Yeah. And a titanium heart was implanted successfully in a patient for the first time that may help others waiting for a transplant.
Cool.
Just in time to
Hit
save
500.
people that have been eating, we're not excluded from this, processed foods and garbage and McDonald's cheeseburgers
You know
and
what?
cheeseburgers in general and French fries
I
and all the crap. Probably good to avoid that.
blame our leaders too.
But-
I mean, like, I don't, take
Yeah.
accountability.
FDA, FAA,
But, like, it's
FOB,
really
CIA. I don't know.
not-
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying stuff now. But
People, I don't know much about Europe other than people keep saying that they literally make food differently because the regulations are stricter.
yeah, I think we've
they're
all
like
been
more
scammed
healthier.
for money to
So
some
that's
degree,
the thing
at
is, I'm
least.
like, guys, you're setting us up for failure. That's really not nice. Like, I like to eat all of this food, but I'd also like to not have to search for the good food too.
Yeah.
You really have to pay and search for it.
Yep.
Anyway,
I think I'm getting.
but it's fine.
Well, we've talked about this. I think, but so I'll be quick. But the older I get, the more motivated I am to just eat, to do whatever I can to have the most energy
Yeah,
possible naturally, and
and not naturally sometimes.
yeah, I will do a pre-workout, and then have a Monster and maybe a coffee in the day. But I have been still keeping up with my over a gallon of water a day,
Which is so great.
actually is my blood pressure has gone down, or my beats per
awesome.
minute has gone down. It's helped me.
Probably
I
helps
feel
your
a lot
cardio and
better.
everything too.
My cardio, my face doesn't break out. All the good things,
Yeah.
Water and electrolytes are important. I have one more thing at the Prime IV. I feel like those have helped. I had some B12 shots over there, and when
like
you
those.
go and you do them, they can put them right in your IV if you're getting an IV, or you can just go pay for the shots. But that's something that helped me. I was like, holy cow, I feel really good. Like, I
Good.
was like 17 again, dude, crushing it,
I want that.
crushing it, And
Bring it on.
while I'm at work, I hate that. I love to go to lunch and love to have lunch, but
Yeah.
I hate by that 3:00 time hits and you're like trying to keep your eyes
Oh
awake.
yeah, that's me.
So when I have a smaller lunch that's just protein packed, this is me. Like
Doesn't
my
hit you
energy
harder.
levels are so much better throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that alone has been just like, okay, if I just eat this, I'll be full. And
Good
in 2
job
hours, I'll think to
listening
myself.
to your body.
Yeah. I've gotten better at that lately, which has been nice.
Good.
It's always a struggle, I had cereal last night. I gave up. We ordered some cookies
Oh
over
my
the
gosh, we ate
weekend.
so
I had
much
sweet
crap
potato
yesterday.
fries at R&R instead of the side salad, There's just a
So
few
much
things.
crap yesterday.
You got to indulge sometimes, but anyway.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Track your macros, track your calories, get some cardio in, go for a walk, bless
Had
your
your
lives.
kids, had your wives. That's what you sound like.
I know. Thank you. Anyway, so that's some good news, but
It's awesome.
yeah. So we talked a little bit about this in the last episode, but we totally didn't mention Jessica was the bridesmaid for her sister at her wedding, and Jessica loves to help and be involved, and she overdoes things
No,
usually.
I do not.
Okay.
Good job. You stopped
you.
yourself.
See?
I'm actually really proud of you.
Thank you. And so we had a wedding at the very end of May that took up the entire month of May, essentially.
Well, no, it wasn't just the wedding.
Okay. What else was it?
We had
People in
2
town.
weddings
Oh, yeah.
and graduations, and then the
2
kids
weddings.
also have their end of year school stuff. Like, I knew May was going to be crazy, but
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
in June, we spent 3 weekends, 3 weekends, 3
at
full
least.
weekends.
No, there was weeks. Or there were days in between too, but yeah.
There were days during the week but we did 3 weekends replacing all our flooring upstairs.
It needed it so bad.
So bad. And we got it all done. I have a good friend. If anybody needs a good contact, he knows he could build a house, really. But he super handy. He does flooring and
great.
other stuff. But
Nice guy.
called him yesterday to help us with an electrical question. Bless his heart. He's a freaking stud.
Yeah, sweet
I
guy.
gave him a shout out on Instagram. But yeah, when we were doing it. But we, I think the first weekend we got going, we set a goal to get so far.
Oh,
And
you realize
he
quickly.
laid down all the glue for we did this at the LVP flooring upstairs, and we did it in the easiest way possible, and it actually turned out great. But how late were we up? 3?
Yeah, at least 2.
And he lives an hour from here. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I went to
think-
bed that night till like 3 in the morning, maybe 4.
Yeah.
And then he came over. Oh, no. The first night we worked till like midnight, I think. Saturday, we worked from like
Oh, yeah.
10 in the morning till like 2 or 3 in the morning on Sunday. And he was actually going to come. We worked a full 2 days in one day on Saturday. That's all I remember, because he was going to come Sunday, and he works he has a job too that's pretty labor intensive. Bless his heart, man. And I'm like, dude, don't come over tomorrow. But then once he laid the glue down, he looked at me and he goes, I don't think we realize what we have in front of us here. And he was right. But we did it in sections, and to do your flooring in your house while you're living in it is not an easy task. And shout out to you for getting everything cleared out of the way. And he and I went to work and
trying to tag team it and make it happen.
Jack helped out, and yeah, it was awesome. But now that it's done, but what was funny is we didn't even get a quarter. We were maybe a quarter of the way. It was like the second night you looked at me and you go, we need to paint. And I said, hold on a minute. Hold on a damn minute. One thing at a time, dude. I already had the thought. You do your flooring and you're like, oh, shit. And that swear word is deserved. You go, oh, now we have to paint, and now we have to do the, the baseboards and the walls and maybe the ceiling and the cabinets and do the countertops need to be replaced? And I'm like, bruh, we are in a recession. I'm tired.
I'm fine now. But it was like shocking. I was like, I knew that the flooring wasn't going to match because when I went to pick it, I picked the one that did match, but I'm like, but I like this other one better. And I don't like the color of everything else anyway. So why am I trying to match it to everything else?
You can just paint it. Big deal.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to choose the floor that I want. And then I'm going to change the things that I don't like instead of matching the things that I don't like.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Might be a few years, but
no doubt. It's going to be a project. It's a project. So when we put it down and I looked and I'm like, I didn't realize how bad it was going to be.
Yeah. And when you're 10 years living in your home, there's just...
For sure.
It's a constant okay, what's next?
Right.
What's next? What do we have
even
energy for? What do we have the budget for?
Honestly, it's not even like cosmetic things that it's the random things start breaking. Yeah. That we literally have to do all the time.
The children are not soft with anything.
Well, they're children, so
and
what do you want?
You can nitpick them and whatever,
but it's
hey, turn off the lights, close the door, don't slam that, please. I already had to replace the dishwasher 2 or 3 times. Can you not sit on the lid of it? That would be great. Thank you. Yeah, the garbage can will break if you do that. Oh, now it's broken. Yeah. Remember before I told you not to do that?
Yeah, that's why I told you not to do that. Yeah. Anyway, it's working again, by the way. The one upstairs.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Oh, I'm like,
the garbage can. Yeah.
Anyway, where were we? So we
just complaining about things.
We need to paint.
Yeah. So if you
but it's okay because I knew we would.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yep.
I just didn't know how badly.
And then once the upstairs is done, we'll have to come down here and replace the carpet the kids have peed on and whatever else.
I love the stuff that we chose for down here.
Yeah,
I feel like we did a good job.
So far, so good.
Anyway, we haven't done a crazy Florida story.
Do you have
one? I don't have a crazy one. I just know that there's a hurricane coming. Wait, this episode, I'm sure it'll already have hit. So prayers for Florida. Hopefully,
brace yourselves, gang. Brace yourselves out there.
Things weren't that bad, but that's all that was coming up for Florida news right now. So
yeah.
So hunker down. We're praying for you. Anyway, so
there were sharks in Florida. Did you see that thing where there were like hundreds of sharks near the beach?
No.
One of the beaches out there. Was it in the Gulf? Anyway.
Sharknado?
Sharknado was happening, but in the water.
What?
Yeah. We were going to watch Sharknado. I couldn't bring myself to doing it.
Well, because we were going to watch Twister.
If you haven't heard of Sharknado, it's what's the word? It's a comedy about a tornado of sharks that hits New York City or something, or a big city. I don't know. I just saw the preview. Look it up if you want just to laugh for a minute.
We were going to watch it,
but this is an actual movie that people
we didn't want to pay for it, but only the second one is on streaming.
How many Sharknadoes are there?
Oh, yeah. How many are there?
There are 6 Sharknado movies.
Shut up.
6 of them.
We need to watch it.
I don't think we do. I think there's more.
No. There are 6 of them. That means we need 2. At least one. At least the first one.
Might have to catch a buzz for that one.
Okay. Hey, speaking of movies, though.
Yeah.
We watched a lot of movies lately.
Yeah.
I mean, since
we weren't real productive when we had a break. I love
we used
movies.
it.
We've talked about it. It's my escape. I took a nap during Deadpool yesterday. It was fine. It was a good movie.
At the theater, mind you.
Yeah, I was
Is
into
it
some deep breathing apparently at the movie theater. Luckily, there
a
was a
little
gap
like
between me and
Darth
the guy next
Vader?
to me.
You thought Darth Vader was in Deadpool, but he wasn't. He wasn't.
I was just next to Jessica.
It was awesome. It's
Yeah, it
better
was.
than the lady trying to clear the popcorn out of her teeth, though.
Oh my hell!
For
I
like
could hear
5
her
minutes.
for a minute. Yeah,
Take that.
yeah. Don't do that.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I could hear him like. I only heard it like really loud for like a little bit, and then it was done.
I'm not one to say anything to people, but like I almost said something. I was really close to being like,
Listen, bitch.
"Can you like please not?" You're really killing the vibe here.
She ate an entire large bucket of popcorn by herself.
Okay.
And then had to clean.
So then, how did you like the movie though?
It was all right. It was good. It was entertaining.
I feel like it was one you have to really know your stuff. I was telling Hayden, you have to know your stuff to get everything that's going on.
Yeah.
They have a lot of, I mean, Deadpool in general is just like one laugh after another, and it's pretty funny. But they did bring in a lot of history about other movies that they had been in and or their lives. I'm pretty sure he talked about his wife, Blake Lively.
Yeah.
I thought that that's what I heard him say, and I was like,
I think
oh.
you're right. Yeah.
Anyway, so, and then about the history of like various other movies.
Marvel
So
and X-Men.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Like
everything.
so many things got thrown in there. So,
It was good. It was entertaining. I was tired, so
I fell
it was
asleep
what
for
it
a
was.
minute too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was that's if
What
that
was
tells
your
anything.
favorite movie that we've seen lately, though?
Bad Boys, the new Bad Boys
That was so
actually
good.
maybe one of my favorite ones they've released.
Yeah, it was really good.
I don't want to oversell it. If you're a Bad Boys fan, Bad Boys 2 is hard to beat. It really is.
But the third one was really good.
Yeah. Was it the third or the fourth one?
I thought it was third.
I think it was 4.
Look it up. Siri.
How many Bad Boys movies are there?
Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
3. You got it. Sorry.
See?
For some reason, I
Winning.
was thinking 1, 2. Okay.
No. They're good too, though. That, what's his face? Not Will, but who's the other guy's? What's his name again? I'm the worst with names. You're better.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Okay. He's freaking funny.
He's funny, dude.
He's so funny. But yeah, that one was really good. We also took the kids to, you went and took Taft to Garfield. And then we went and, how was Garfield?
That's not right. There's
Are
4
you
of them.
still stuck on Bad Boys?
Bad Boys series. Yeah. Siri doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm like, I swear there's 4 of these.
Are there?
Bad Boys franchise.
Hold on. Back it
Bad
up.
Boys films. Bad Boys in 1995, Bad Boys 2 in 2003, Bad Boys for Life in 2020, and then Bad Boys Ride or Die in 2024.
So far. Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, you went and took Taft to Garfield.
Took Taft to Garfield. I might have taken a nap in that one too.
Probably.
It wasn't that good. I didn't think, but for
But
a
the
kids
kids,
movie.
we rented it when we had family in town, and they wanted to watch it 2 nights in a row. So I was like,
Yeah. It entertained the
Must've been
children. Sometimes
good
that's all
enough
it,
for them.
that's
And they
all
were laughing like belly aching, so
yeah.
it's cute.
Yeah, maybe it was just my general
Time.
timing of going to see
It
it.
was
Maybe my
your time
mood
of
was yes.
Just kidding.
It was my it was that time.
It was that time. And you went and took the kids to see If. I don't even remember what we were doing.
If
Maybe that was
surprised
when
me, it was
we were doing Bachelor.
it was a little more serious than I anticipated. I thought it'd be a little more
Yeah.
funny and like lighthearted, but it was
I didn't.
it was
really
cute. It
even
had a
see
good message, and I think I teared up in it at some point, which is weird to tell you.
You're like, it wasn't good, but like,
And maybe I was a
I
little
cried.
emotional. It could have been
Maybe
on my time of the month then. It's been a while since we podcasted, so could have been.
could have been. It could have been.
It could have been just
Who
a
knows?
rough day for me, and I got in there and was just like, I'm gonna cry.
Way to
in
let
this.
it out.
Yeah.
I love that.
You cry on the podcast. I cry during movies. Okay. Just kidding.
How many times have I cried on the podcast?
Probably every other episode.
Shut up, not.
I don't know. Count them. Count them up.
I don't want to. Should we do?
I think I did once
Should
or
we do
twice.
a reel of all the times I cried on?
Yeah, do it.
Just kidding.
But yeah, Bad Boys for Life was pretty rad. I thought it was good.
Bringing it back.
And maybe we were in a better mood when we went. It actually had really good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, which tells you something too.
Well,
from
we
the
watched
audience
it again
score.
and we loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We made like everybody. We're like, oh, you want to watch Bad Boys? Yeah, yeah, yeah. When the kids were watching Garfield, we're like, yeah, it's a good one. Like totally selling it,
Yeah.
but we liked it.
My mind numbing. This is embarrassing, and I deserve to be judged for this, so go for it. But the series I've been watching on HBO,
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, we
it
didn't
is
say it.
it is
last time.
horrible, like in every way. Every way. The acting's
Yes.
bad. It's older series, so I think that has something to do with it too. But the acting really is like, I think their budget might have been tight through the entire thing. Some of the actors are decent.
How many
but
seasons are there?
in fact, my favorite actor in it is the guy from, oh boy, The Northman. He's the main character in that, which
You
he looks
got me.
totally different in The Northman than he does in True
Oh,
Blood.
really?
Yeah, but it's the one that I'm just like, this is really bad, like HBO vampire series. So think about it. But
Yeah, it's got
that-
all the things, and I had to stop watching. I think I
I'm like,
got
am
like
I-
a
how
couple
am I still
episodes in,
watching
and
this?
I'm like, the acting was so awful, and there was like, it was uncomfortable every.
it's
Every
probably one of
scene.
the worst series I've invested my time in.
Yeah,
And it is kind of like a treadmill burner. Like I'll just get on the treadmill and turn it on, and it just distracts my mind from how far I'm running.
yeah, yeah.
You know, just long enough. So it's.
Yeah.
But I also like don't feel like I can watch it if someone's running next to me on the treadmill.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
no doubt.
I watch it on the airplane coming back from Mexico, and I'm like hiding my
Hiding
phone
it?
like every 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, can't. Maybe it wasn't
Oh,
that
it's
often,
so
but
awful.
it was bad. Yeah.
But if you're like feeling like it's a lot, then you're like,
Maybe it's the
a lot.
dopamine, or is it the dopamine that I'm just like, I don't know, a little blood. If you don't like blood, don't go see Deadpool.
Not
for
at all.
sure.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Yeah, I wouldn't
but
recommend that.
yeah,
I got uncomfortable a couple times in it, and actually there was other parts that like, not just the blood, that I was like, okay, like conversations that were had. I'm like, it's a little much, but
Yeah.
okay, we went and saw the new Quiet Place too,
yeah.
which we weren't quite.
I took a nap in that one for sure.
Hey,
I slept in that
you
one.
must be a really tired guy.
It didn't really tie stuff together for me. I like the other Quiet Place movies. This
Yeah.
one didn't do it for me.
So we went into it
boring.
thinking it's a prequel, and that it would tie the story from the first two
Yeah,
all together.
yeah.
It doesn't do that.
Yeah,
So go into it thinking it's a whole new story.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Or
it does
somebody
tie a little
else's.
bit of it together,
not really.
but it's pretty bad. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much.
So
I kind of watched it and I was like, eh.
I may have you. No, I for sure you fell asleep
Yep.
in that one. For
I
sure.
snoring in that
That's
one?
right. I don't remember. I
think
just
I-
remember like putting popcorn up to your face or something, trying to.
Yeah, Jess
If
is a
you'd wake
horrible
up.
like. What's funny is you're the one that always falls asleep in movies, and the couple
Oh.
times I do it, she'll like snicker and laugh at me. I'm like, dude, this is you every time. This is every time we
true.
watch a movie, you're sleeping.
Not every time.
Yeet.
If we're in bed, like if we're trying to watch one before we go to bed.
No, if you just sit down and watch a movie, you're out.
You're welcome. It's my superpower.
Since high school.
It's my superpower.
Since high school, dude. Yeah,
Okay. Inside Out 2 was cute. I cried
it was cute.
twice.
Yeah, the first one I watched, I was like, "What is this?" But if
Yeah.
you would get into the mentalness of it,
Yeah.
it is a cute movie.
Yeah, we liked that one a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another
What else did we
media
watch?
that you're,
Media.
yeah, the red clay strip.
Oh, I was just going to tell people about the Red Clay Strays. I discovered them. I've actually heard some of their stuff and seen them around a little bit.
Who are they?
They're a band,
Okay.
music. So yeah, if you're into, I don't know if they fit like that kind of new age country-ish. He does his hair like a guy from the 50s, but he's a younger guy. He's kind of got a cool vibe, I think. But yeah, their music's kind of cool. They might fit like that. A little bit of Zach Bryan vibe.
How about speaking of country?
So if you want a new discovery, it's a little more chill. I don't want to call myself like a metalhead, but I like some rock music and harder music, especially when I'm working out and stuff. But also there's times for like calmer stuff. So that's when I'll throw on like Zach Bryan or these guys, or, chill
Yeah.
the vibe out a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of country music, though,
Yeah.
how about Post Malone coming out with a country album?
I love Post Malone. I love
Yeah.
him. Some of the stuff underwhelmed me a little bit that's
Yeah.
been coming out, but
His-
I freaking dig
well,
it.
those were
Good for him.
his,
Good for him for trying new stuff, and there's
his-
some good stuff. But yeah,
His stuff that he was like collabing on.
yeah, which
I
is
don't
cool.
know that-
It's dope.
I did hear one song. It was like a daddy-daughter song. that was a single for him. I mean, like he was.
Oh yeah, he has a kid, right? I think he
I
does
don't
have a
know,
kid.
but the song is really cute.
Yeah.
It's so cute. So I haven't heard any
I
of
think
the
you
other
might.
ones, but
Google it, everybody. I'm not going to ask Siri. She tells false info.
she's freaking wrong. Freaking wrong.
Oh, and I don't know if we were talking about AI in the last episode too. I was just going to say,
Oh, yeah.
here's the cool thing. If you're not playing with AI, by the way, you got to get in and you got to learn it and use it. I don't know if you knew this, but we're paying $20 a month to get the latest versions of ChatGPT right now.
That's so cute. I love that.
And I'm trying to spend more time in it. And the more I spend in it, the more impressed with it I am. And
But like, are you using it to better your life that it's worth $20 a month?
For now, yes.
Okay.
I think with marketing, with sales, I think it's going to change with programming. I went to lunch with a friend of mine who's a data engineer and does some coding and different things. And I think he said he was using some of that to help. But like, I think the days of having to go to school to become a programmer are quickly coming to an end.
Yeah.
All of it you can learn online anyway, so I'm told. But I think you can learn just about anything you want to know online, which is kind of rad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But one of the beautiful things about AI is when you go to Google search something, like a million things pop up.
Yeah.
And with AI, I think it helps you dig to the root of it a lot quicker and you get the information a lot faster.
Pinpoints.
Yeah.
Because you can be more specific.
And it's constantly learning. Yeah, but you can put, PDFs. And
But
I think
when do we get to the point where it's like Google, where you're getting the Google ads, where people are paying to put their information up first? You know?
I don't know how it's going to evolve, but right now, if you just so far, I haven't seen any ads on ChatGPT anywhere.
Yeah.
And usually when you pay, you see less of that stuff too. But
yeah,
and it's really just to have the latest. It's supposed to be like, if you pay, it's supposed to be a way more advanced version of ChatGPT than the previous one. But then even the free one, you get a lot of free tools. And there's a couple of things. I think the DALL-E, I call it DALL-E. I don't know if I'm calling it's DALL-E or something. And you can do logos in there. You can do, man, it's pretty rad. But I was watching YouTube videos last night on it, and like, what are people using it for,
Yeah.
And one girl pulled up, like, you can have it teach you stuff. You can have it, your brother actually said this, but she was mentioning it too, that you can have it put like a food plan together or
a workout
recipes
plan.
or a workout plan. I know a guy at the gym. I need to ask him if he's still using that, but he's in great shape and he's been using it. At least he was. And, man, anything you can think of just about
my brother was even saying it was like, it's so specific that he was like, okay, this is the equipment that I have.
Yeah.
And I want to do, or like, give me a week's worth of workouts for, I don't know, you can even say, I want them to take me about 20 minutes. Give me workouts I can use with this equipment for a week's worth of workouts. And, or like, if you have special dietary needs, give me a meal plan where I have this many, if you're doing macros.
Yeah.
Here's my macros, or
here's my calorie count for the day.
Yeah, here's how much protein I want for each meal, or here's whatever. And then it would even give you the food and the recipes, and it would give you a shopping list, and you know what I mean? Like, it went ham. So
well,
you can dwindle it down so specifically for you that you're like, I almost feel bad because these people that have dedicated their lives to like gain this knowledge, and then now their job's obsolete.
Well, I think it's definitely going to help with efficiency with companies being able to do a lot more work with less people and boost budgets. And so that's just one easy way I could see it taking out jobs.
Yeah.
Speaking of logos, one of my friends, he has his own little t-shirt company, but he just does it for himself. There's this really cheap t-shirt you can buy that fits really well. I have several of them. I love them. And then he's just like, we're old now, so we don't care as much about the brands.
Yeah.
And you can make your own stuff. And so he popped in there, like, he has a logo. He said, make me several different variations of this logo. Popped it in, and it kicked out a bunch of logos for him. And he's like, I'm using them. They're actually like,
they're really cool.
They're pretty rad.
That's cool.
I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And it does a
But
great
that's
job.
not, like,
It'll generate
copyright?
in less than a minute. It's his own logo. It's his own brand. He has like a business around it and everything.
But like, because so that's the thing is that, so ChatGPT made it.
Yeah.
So there's nobody else that's going to be like, okay, this is copyright. Like, take I made the design for you. Like if you hired somebody to make the design for you, it's different than the chat GBT. Is that the way it works then? Because like he can't get in trouble for
There's still
using
copy. I don't think so.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
If it was like Nike's brand and said, make me a variation of these, and then he was reselling those T-shirts without Nike's permission, he'd probably get a letter in the mail. But where it's his own brand, it's his own logo, it's his own company.
Yeah. Like I know, like for me when I was creating my business back before, it was like I paid a website to generate a whole bunch of them, and then I would go in, and then they would say, okay, do you like this? And I said, okay, please change this. Like same type of situation, but it was another company that I was paying, but I had to pay them, otherwise I could get in trouble. And copyright, right?
Yep.
So
this there's still copyright laws and all that stuff, but that was just one example. If you have your own company or you want to start your own clothing brand or you want to do your own thing, it's a lot easier to do now.
Yeah.
The other thing was, I didn't even tell you this, but I get blood work done we talked about my hormones in the last episode, but I think I've talked about this being on testosterone and everything the last few years, which has really been helpful for me. Do your homework and research. It's not for everybody. And there's timing and doctors that you need to be trusting and do your research and on all that shit.
Keep up on doing your blood work so that you can make sure that it's like doing those.
Go ahead.
Those like tabs, or what are the tablets that you put in? What are those? We were talking about putting, it's like a pill and they'll put it in your butt.
Oh yeah,
and
some
it
guys
releases
will.
It,
I'm not a big fan of things I've heard about it, but you can get like a small operation now, and they'll basically insert a
what do they call it? Anyway,
testosterone pill essentially under your skin, and then your body
releases it, but
slowly over time.
I feel like your
so
body
you don't have to do injections
is constantly
every week.
changing. So I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. There's a lot of places popping up that do them, and you just have, like, the doctor I see, I was asking her about, like, what's it like starting a clinic? I was like, I've kind of been interested in maybe doing my own clinic health is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. Like, what if we could do our own clinic, have our own blood work, have doctors that specialize in this stuff, maybe look into stem cell research and health stuff. I think it's just going to get more and more popular, but they're kind of popping up all over the place, which is good and bad. And she said, you just want a doctor in there that really understands blood work. She goes, I have a lady that has a place, I won't say where, but she just like, she calls me to ask, she's calling me, asking me about like blood work questions. And she's like, you don't want that. Like, you want a doctor that knows what they're doing. So that's what I say. When you do your research, consult a physician, which should be obvious, but stuff. And so I actually have my blood work in PDFs, and I uploaded my blood work to it. And I think ChatGPT is even careful about giving medical advice too, but I think it's coming. Like I uploaded it and said, what do you recommend? Like, is there anything I should worry about from this? Is there anything? And it kind of gave that, hey, this chart you uploaded said you were low here, here, and here. So it kind of spit out the same information I already had. And then in talking to her, I kind of already had it, but I'm seeing things that, they're saying that they're doing these scans. Like I saw a thing I think it was just this week, that AI is scanning, for like breast cancer scans and identifying like precancerous stuff. So you can get ahead of the curve. So when you talk about living longer and that type of stuff, I think that's all part of it,
crazy.
And how fast will it, if it has all of the data and you have all these doctors all over the world and everything's uploaded there, can it process like how fast it makes an image, how fast it processes information is freaking crazy. Yeah. So how soon till they have the solution to, certain types of cancers, and you see these, like, I think it's gonna advance the medical field freaking leaps and bounds. Yeah. I had that hernia surgery last fall, and he did it with a robot. Yeah. He's like, I'll be controlling it in the back, but I wonder how much I would be curious. Maybe we need to have a doctor on, like, how much is a guy even controlling the robot, and how long does he have a job for? You know what I mean? Right. And so I think attorneys will still have their place for a while, but like, man, it'll write up a freaking legal contract for you, and it does a pretty damn good job. Quite frankly, I've looked them over. I'm not a lawyer, but I've dealt in real estate and contracts and read a bunch of them, and it does a good job. Really? Yeah.
To what degree is it like scary though? Like, what information do you not want it to have? Like you said, you sent your blood work over. I'm like,
you don't want the AI to enter a robot that has machine guns and nukes tied to it that just runs through the world and kills everybody.
I know,
think
but
that's the
what I'm
fear.
talking about, your information,
Terminator
your
is what we
specific
want to avoid.
information. Like it's not, it's okay that they have your blood work information.
Yeah, probably not. But, BlackRock just bought Ancestry.com for several $billions, and now they have my DNA information. So, you know what I mean? I think that's the whole scary side of these big companies
that
having
you think
your
you're
stuff
just
is
like, oh, I'm just doing this to like figure out about me, and then all of a sudden now everybody has your DNA.
Yep.
Cute.
There's a guy, I think he owns the brand Thorn, and he's the guy that Dana White uses to do he was the one that helped Dana White, the owner of one of the owners of the UFC, the president or whatever. He's been working with him to like improve his lifestyle and live longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a biologist, but his job before he started his own company was I could be misquoting this a little bit, but I'm pretty sure this is what he said, that he takes in the info, or he worked for life insurance companies where he would review the blood work that came in and determine determine like people's rates if they gave them blood work. And he goes, these guys already know when they look at your blood work, like insurance companies aren't stupid, and they're clearly they have doctors on the other side reviewing your blood work and reviewing everything. Right. Like, what's our risk of giving this guy life insurance? And he made the comment that I was one of the guys reviewing it, and we would see problems and we couldn't say anything. Ugh. How like awful would that be?
For sure. Like,
this person needs to be called and told to go see their doctor immediately. And so if this AI can get you the data right away, and you're working with a physician that's actually using it and is up to speed on the technology that's coming out, like,
well, you'd hope your physician didn't need to use it, that they had the information.
But yeah, there's probably so much, and there's so much of it. Like, imagine being, I don't know, I just think of being like a doctor and trying to keep up on all the sicknesses coming out and all the like what's new, what new medications are out there, what actually treats this, instead of
that's true.
What fixes the problem versus just treats it and keep people on pills. And
but then sorry, I turned up the mic and I did it a little too
hot there.
Sorry about that.
Anyway,
but then at what point do we stop using the physician because we can just ask?
I don't know.
ChatGPT.
I don't know.
That's scary.
I think you have to have people involved to a degree for a lot of things, and I don't know that it. I try to stay in the. Yeah, sorry about that.
Hidden treasures stuck to your leg. I had a friend that said, actually, a doctor did tell her, he's like, we're just educated guessers. He's like, we can get as much information as we can and learn. But like you said, things are changing all the time, and you only know as much as you know, and you can keep trying to do, continue education and stuff, but you just don't know everything all the time. So
yeah.
But the scary part with me is there's the conspiracy part where it's like everybody needs to take this whatever.
Yeah.
And then in reality, it's something. I mean, I guess we can have that. You can get pushed various things anyway, and.
Well, and pharmaceutical companies are the biggest donors to politicians, and it's all about, like, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I get in trouble for saying this, but, like, COVID didn't happen that long ago. Yeah. It's not a bad word to say COVID, by the way.
We all shrivel
look how hard it was pushed and how fast it went away. And if you look at the charts, like, nobody had the flu, but everybody had COVID. And it's all a money thing, you know what I mean? And if you have the wrong people in power there's a lot of pressure and influence and all that stuff when you have that much money and you want the power and you want to just keep this whole machine going. So yeah, I think hopefully it can help clean up some of that. But if all these big companies are the ones that have it, I don't know. But speaking from losing friends, that I was actually had this conversation not too long ago. I'm sorry if I talked about this, but I have this like skepticism or cynicism towards those companies anyway for how many friends I've lost to drug overdoses, and to see how it happened. And they have a little bit cleaner systems in some ways, but look at the addiction problems that we have nowadays, and it's a money machine, you know what I mean? And if they can keep people hooked and keep them prescribed, like, it's a mess. It's crazy. It's sad that we're this advanced as a society and are dealing with that type of stuff. Yep. So anyway, I don't know if any of that made sense, but it's a damn shame, some of it, and some of it's beautiful, and I think we live in one of the coolest times ever and one of the best times ever, and we got this.
We just got to use our own what's the word?
Think for ourselves.
Yeah.
Judgment
and intuition. Yeah, judgment.
Don't be scared to ask questions, just like we always talk about. You
Yeah.
know? And whatever you
No
choose
doubt.
is your choice, freedom. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I love you anyway, whatever. But
You
I
love
like,
me?
I got made fun of a lot because I didn't get the vaccine, and I was like,
Yep.
and I like by a lot
No
of
doubt.
friends,
No
and
doubt.
now I'm like, dude, and now they're seeing it like me, like holy crap, like
Yeah.
they're not, they maybe a couple of them went and got a couple boosters, and then they're like, oh yeah, like,
Not doing that.
and when you have religions and you have people pushing it that are behind the scenes too and telling you that this is the way it is, then it's easier
Well-
to jump on board even then. But if you can't sit back, and maybe I was lucky because in some ways, because I had those experiences with people and I was able to see that, be aware enough to go, oh, there's something going on here. Like they're doctor hopping and getting pills from everyone or talking their doctor into more meds and all this stuff. And it's like, why would a doctor keep doing that and just giving?
Right.
Like, what's their incentive? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when it gets backwards for me. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. It just didn't sit right. So I just like, I'll get it when I feel like it's okay.
Yeah, and to me, I don't even want to say that it wasn't okay for some people because I think that some people
Sure.
probably
Yeah, I think
it
that's
probably
some science
was
that
good
says
for
that.
them.
Yeah.
And again, back to everybody has their own choice, right? So to each their own. You make the choice and you determined whether it was the right for you at the time too.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't right for us. And then now we're seeing why maybe it wasn't right for us.
Yeah. And when you're politicizing it too, that's when it went from like, should I get this to, oh, this feels really like, this is like over the top being pushed, you know?
And that wasn't
we
even
knew
the
a
deal
person
for
or two
me.
that died from it or more.
Yeah. So it
and-
wasn't like we were feeling like it wasn't real.
Yeah.
We just didn't feel
So
like
a lot of
that
this
was,
information didn't make a lot of sense
Yeah.
logically to me.
And mine wasn't
personally,
even
but
like
not that-
logic. Mine was more, I prayed about it and felt, I mean, I got a strong answer. So I was like, okay.
And you had people like unfollow you or
Oh, yeah, I did.
Remember that? Some dickhead. Some guy was a big dick about it, and I'm like, why? Like, and we're
Somebody
pretty
that
chill
it was
about
fine.
stuff.
It was
like,
totally fine. But
like,
it was just like they kept
whatever, time
just
will
like,
tell.
if you don't do this, then you're, was very over the
You're
top.
going
with
against
pretty much going to hell. Like
Yeah.
you're just going to hell if you
religion.
don't get it.
Let's say religion was involved in that conversation.
And I was just like, well, I just, told him I prayed about it and I got a very strong answer that it like wasn't, I shouldn't do it. So, I wasn't even attacking him personally or anything. It just was not
Yeah.
helping his post cause. I was just trying to let people see why people may not,
Yeah.
And then it had nothing to do with heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And then he blocked me and I just left. So I've never been blocked before.
Dude, you're crushing it.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
So cute.
But I know people that are still in the church whose family got the shot and one of them still died and they thought it was because of the shot, Maybe it just gets
Oh,
banned.
yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, do your own research. That's all I'm saying. Like freaking
so
and
it
think
does-
for
this
yourself
is
and
not a
don't let someone
COVID.
tell you what to do all the time with everything. Like we'll
Wow,
have
we
a choice
really
to
went
make.
down this like wormhole, didn't
Shit,
we?
yo. Sorry if we offended anybody. It's not the intention, I promise.
We're just talking AI and more so things are gonna get crazy and even right
They
now we
are.
are still
Like, it's
pushed.
coming.
Literally, we're pushed for everything. Everything is an ad these days. Everything is an agenda for something. So I think right now, and especially with AI coming and getting bigger, that we do need to sit back and say, okay, this is the information I'm given. Now let's fill it out. How do we feel about this? Let's check in with self
Yep.
before we just take it for.
What's your mind and your heart telling you?
Yep.
And it's okay to pause for a minute and think on that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Whether it's prayer or meditation.
And
or
literally
like,
everything. Literally every choice.
Trust.
Literally every information that you ever
Yeah.
intake.
Who trusts? I don't know I don't know anybody. I'll just say maybe I just need to poll, but like who trusts all the information that pops up in front of them anyway nowadays? Like we have politicians.
Yeah,
that,
and you hope that that's
whatever
the case
side
now,
you're on,
right?
that just stand up and lie about shit. Like the media, media lies, journalists lie, people are lying, and so where do you get your information? How much can you trust it? How do you feel about it? And everything I read, even the tech stuff coming in, I'm like, how true is that? Was this just
Well-
somebody that freaking made this up in their basement at home living with
Right.
their mom, or did they get this information
It's
Is this
like
legit? You know,
it's like the Siri commercials where it's just like this random person back in the typing things out, you know? No, I oh crap. I lost my thought with that little Siri tangent. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
Yeah.
life's there's a lot of opportunity. I think people are starting to understand how crazy AI is and how it's going to get, but it's like we're kind of living in this time where we're experiencing the internet 2.0, and I think it's going to bring some changes to it.
I think this is what I was going to say is that we're
sure.
fed the information that like we react to too, right?
Yeah.
So like on social media you have a feed. Well, once you start reacting to certain things, it's going to feed you more information and help like confirmation bias type stuff going on, you know?
Yes.
So that's why it's one of those things where, okay, but you're being fed one side of the story.
Yeah.
At all times. So.
Yeah, I had someone try to like push me into like this real conservative group one time, and I'm like, I have no desire to jump into an echo chamber full of freaking angry right wingers. Just like I don't have the desire to go jump into a liberal echo chamber of freaking left wingers. Like, I think most of society sees it that way, and most people are pretty level headed, and we get emotional and biased about our own opinions, and that's really hard, right? But that's why some hard conversations need to happen, and why we need to talk and do it in a way. That's why I like Joe Rogan, honestly, is he'll have different people on with different perspectives and points of view, and they'll talk through stuff. And I think that people more and more these days are valuing that over. That's why I love Theo Vaughn. He's just unapologetically himself. Yeah. And sometimes he may have someone on a podcast that's way smarter than him, and he'll get confused or whatever, but he still like has the conversation.
I love that. I love when he gets confused.
He's funny as hell, dude. He's one of my favorite.
I love when he gets confused because then he seems more relatable, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, explain it to me better." And I'm all, like, people don't do that. People are so egotistical these days that you just like you can't be wrong or you can't be unknowing.
Right.
Including myself. Somebody else say something and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'm going to pretend because I know the realm of where you're talking about it in, but I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sound like an idiot or make you explain everything. I've been trying to be better at that. If I just don't know, I'm just like, I know this probably sounds so dumb, but please explain.
Now explain it to me like I'm your toddler. And
explain it to me like I'm 10.
Yeah.
And then actually like I'm 5. Try again. Let's try one more time.
Yeah.
No. Anyway. But crazy world. It's great though.
Crazy.
It's so much good. So much good that can
really
come
is.
from it as long as we focus on making it good and checking in with ourselves about
positive thoughts, push out the negative thoughts. Let's focus on what we can do better. Let's focus on how we can make the world a better place. Try a little harder
to be a little better. I keep trying. That's
and
been
I'm talking
my
to myself
motto
here
with my kids lately.
Yeah.
I'm like, we are on the same team. Let's try, you know, especially coming to the end of summer.
Yes.
You're like, okay, we're on the same team. Why, like, let's work together. Let's try a little harder to work a little bit more together instead of me over you.
And listen, damn it.
Oh, my. Freaking listen.
Listen to us.
Just kidding.
I had to tell Danny, I'm like, I'm having the conversations of like, listen, dude, I've lived it. I've done it. Like that's me now. I'm the freaking.
But
I'm the dad dude with having these conversations.
Yeah,
I'm like, I was your age yesterday.
And you're like,
totally.
You don't freaking get it.
It's just like
you know,
like social media, like the clothes. And
she told me the other day. Speaking of, I was like, this one I don't understand, and I tried to ask her, but she was saying that they're slang words. Speaking of being the parents and like. Just not.
We're boomers, basically. I get
we don't know anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's like, our slang words, like, we know that they don't make sense. We're doing it to make fun of you. And I was like, what? She's like, oh, what was it? Like skibbity? Or the boys say skibbity toilet? Like it's supposed to be good. And I'm like, putting toilet on anything automatically makes it bad.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make it good. Anyway, she's like, yeah, it's a ridiculous word. We know it. And it's to make fun of you for like your guys' dumb slang that you had before in a mall. Literally every generation has its own slang. So I don't get why you think you're better, that you need to make up crazier ones to make us feel like we're dumb. I don't. Anyway, so that one I won't understand. But
yeah.
And I don't know where she heard it. Let's fact check that.
I feel like it's funny because she'll say stuff and I actually am starting to learn what they are, and I'm like, but she feels like she has to explain every single term to me, and I'm like, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I know you catch on after a little while. It's like that sweatshirt I got. Did you read it? It says "Mom, Mommy, Ma." bruh.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm now bruh.
Yep.
Cute.
Yeah, in 100 years from now, if this language keeps changing at the pace it is, we're gonna have a whole other language.
Totally.
You know.
Well, I don't know. We used to say like
No, that's how it's going right now. I'm
sick
telling you right now. I'm just kidding.
stuff like that. You know.
Yep.
It's just I think it's
But there's a lot more slang
generations.
these days than there were when we were in high school. I feel like
no.
yeet, bruh, skibbity. There's more.
Skibbity toilet. Like what? What is that? That one I just skibbity. Okay.
Skip the toilet. Don't use that toilet. Is that what it means?
But it's supposed to mean good.
Maybe we
That's
should
what
do
they
a
were trying to
podcast
tell
in
me.
here with
The kids.
make it a safe place for teenagers so they can come in and we can have a lesson on like being us. Have we reached that point of our life? Teach us your ways.
How old are you? How old
Yeah.
are you? Yeah, we should go through it.
Yeah.
Tell us all of the things.
What's it like being a teenager today?
I would love that, but I also want to protect.
I don't know if I want to
Children.
know it all. That's the problem. All right. Love you.
Love you most.